Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk with you about a topic that is very profitable but very often also neglected, which is volatility. And if you want to understand how you can benefit from volatility at the stock exchange, then watch the video until the very end, because then you will not only be able to understand what volatility is, but also how you can take a benefit from it by developing better informed, meaning data-driven strategies that will turn you into a more professional trader. And the very best at the end is that I will not only give you a free software tool with which you can analyze your portfolio or any other financial asset in regard of volatility, but I will also provide you with a step-by-step instruction set that you can easily follow and which will transform you in a much more professional trader. And if that sounds good, then I would say we start right away with the question, what is volatility? All right. Now, this might be a little bit boring now, but please give me 2 minutes to understand what volatility is. And if you don't have these 2 minutes, I don't know. Maybe then you just want to stay poor. But to make it very brief, volatility tells you how much an asset varies in price within a certain time frame. And we will now consider 3 examples in order to understand what this means. As you can see, we are given 3 titles. So the first one is this blue line here at the bottom, which is an ETF that includes about 280 titles that are of historically low volatility. And in fact, this ETF resembles the MSCI World Minimum Volatility Index. Why I'm adding this here? So this is a reference value for an asset that has low volatility. So if you have another asset that has low volatility, it will probably be quite similar to this blue line. So this is a lower orientation point, so to say, to get an orientation how to assess the volatility of other titles. Now, on top of that, the green line is the NASDAQ 100, and what you can see there is it is actually already much more volatile than this low volatility index. And on top, the red line is one particular title out of the NASDAQ 100, which is from a company called Fortinet. And this company is a cybersecurity company in Sunnyvale, California. And this company provides products and services around firewalls or intrusion detection systems. So systems that detect whether an attacker has intruded a computer or not. So from this graph, you can easily see that we have here an example for a low volatility title, a medium, actually a high volatile title, and a very high volatile title. And because this video is about volatility and how to make money with volatility, we are going to investigate now this Fortinet stock and how to assess the volatility of this product. So I switched now to this graph here, which is first of all the stock price of the Fortinet stock over time from January 2000 until today. And below here, we have the volatility. So this is just the price chart, which you regularly see on every website. But below here are the so-called volatility charts. And we have 3 types of different volatilities. So first of all, we have the green line, which is the short-term volatility or the 21 days volatility. 21 days because on average we have 21 trading days in a month. So this is actually also the monthly volatility. Then second, we have the blue line, which is the 3-month volatility and or also 63 days volatility, which is 63 days because on average we trade 63 days in 3 months and therefore the 3 months volatility. Then the yellow line is the 1-year volatility, and it starts with a delay of about 252 days because after that we have the first time enough data points to calculate this volatility. And 252 days because you probably already guessed it, right? In 1 year we have on average 252 days of trading. And what you can see here is you can see the historical development of the volatility over time. Okay, so we have the short-term, medium-term and long-term volatility in this chart, plus the historical development of each of these volatilities. And why this is important, we will see later in this video. Alright, so that was easy and great, but let's be honest, you are primarily watching this video because you want to understand how to make money with volatility. So let's do not waste any time and come right to the point. So how do you make money with volatility? And the answer is counter-cyclical trading. So buying low and selling high. And if you are now rolling your eyes, I can tell you with highly volatile titles, this actually can become possible. The only problem is that you need to have a reliable way to identify highly volatile titles. So how do you do this? How do you get these titles? So you could have a look at a price chart and decide subjectively whether a title fluctuates or not. But to be honest, this is very amateurish. Instead, you should rely on a more professional tool that can objectively analyze the volatility of an asset. And I have such a tool for you that is freely available and can be used right away. And now I will show you how you can apply this tool to analyze your portfolio or to analyze the volatility of any asset you want. So let's jump back into my computer and let me show you how you can use it. All right, so this is this professional tool. And what you see on this website here is first you have a short explanation video, which I highly recommend you watch. Underneath, you have a search box that can be used to determine this ticker symbol of a company stock name or a company name. And below here you have two portfolios, portfolio A and B, that can be used to compare two different portfolios of financial assets. Now back to the question, how do we make money using Fortinet? So in order to do so, we first go ahead and add it to our portfolio. So we go into the search mask, enter Fortinet, hit enter, and we get the ticker symbol, which is FTNT, which is traded at the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, which is Fortinet Incorporated. We add this ticker symbol or this position to our portfolio by clicking the plus button. And you can see it did pop up in both portfolios. So we deleted it from portfolio B because we only need it once. And we just add one stock for simplicity. If we want to calculate the volatility profile, we just hit the button, calculate volatility profile. And here we go. And you can see the short-term 21 days volatility, the medium-term 63 days volatility, and the 1 year 252 days long-term volatility. And if we go down to the charts, you see this is the same chart you saw just a moment ago. In the upper part, we have the normal price chart until today. And below this, we have the different volatilities, including the historical volatilities. And as already mentioned, the title is pretty fluctuating. And right now, and particularly the volatility, the short-term volatility is very high because we have this huge fluctuation into the negative. And this could mean that this is a negative overreaction. So the price might bounce back a little bit, at least a little bit, into the positive. So the question is this a good opportunity to get into the market? And there is another argument for this, because when we look at the historical volatility, we see that the volatility of this title has been historically, or at least in the last couple of years, been very high. So volatility is a very normal property of this particularly stock. So the combination of historically high volatility and short-term high volatility gives us a signal for a counter-cyclical trading strategy. Now, how would you now make money in this particular situation? So you could either buy in here now and hope that the price goes up again, which is buy low, sell high. Or if we are in another phase, like this one here, where also the volatility is very high, we can just short the market and thus benefit from falling prices. Now the question is, how do you find other titles like this? You want to have a huge variety of different high volatile titles that have similar properties like this one stock. You could now use this tool and go through a list of stocks, and for each asset of this list you could do one analysis. But of course this is super tedious and tiresome, and if you don't want to do that, I provide you a solution at the end of the video, which is very easy to implement. So just continue watching the video to the end to get this convenient solution. But before I give you this simple solution, I will want to mention one more thing, and therefore we add another stock to this portfolio. So we take a company that is called Sirius XM, which is another NASDAQ title. And this is a Sirius XM Holdings, which is a satellite radio service. We want to add this to our portfolio. We enter the name of the company, hit enter, and the first suggestion is the right ticker symbol. It's traded at the NASDAQ and it is Sirius XM. So we add this again by clicking the plus button. So it did pop into our portfolio. We remove it from portfolio A and we add one stock to portfolio B. And again, we calculate the volatility profile. All right, so we see here the risk comparison between both stocks. And again, if we go down, this is portfolio A, so we switch to portfolio B, which is just this one Sirius XM stock. And the price chart of this stock looks like this. So we have a huge fluctuation in recent months. Now the question is that a good trading signal for a counter-cyclical trading strategy? As you can see, we see here the volatilities, and what you see right now is, while the volatility right now is very high, the historical volatility for this title was usually not very high. So this is a good example where the trading signal is not as clear as you might think, because having a high volatility is for this title usually not normal. And this shows you that both properties are important, not only the short-term volatility, but also the long-term volatility. And therefore, this tool is so important and so useful because it also helps you to understand the historical volatility and not only the short-term volatility. So this is a professional way to use this tool to analyze a stock or portfolio in regards of volatility.
All right, now you know how to analyze volatility, but there is one problem, and that is finding volatile titles, because market conditions are constantly changing and therefore the volatility of different titles also changes constantly. So that means by the time of me recording this video, other titles might be volatile than the titles when you are watching this video. So how do you solve this problem? So you could go through a list of assets and manually check each volatility by applying my tool, but I have a way better solution to do that. So if you go now to asset-tools.tech and register your email address, I will send you a weekly newsletter containing a list of the currently most volatile assets in the market. And don't be afraid about this newsletter. This newsletter will only contain super high value information about investing, which will eventually be very profitable for you. I will absolutely never send you any spam, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Okay, now you have the knowledge, you have the professional tool. Go to asset-tools.tech, register your email, receive the list of the currently most volatile titles, and upon this list and by applying my tool, create a good trading strategy. One thing I can assure you, it will be profitable. Okay, that's it from me today. See you next time.